First up on today's show, my co-anchor Jay Atal brings us a video about the chapel move in Framingham. After that, our weatherboy Joey Macdonald shows us this week's forecast. And Griffin Yarmaloff recaps the Golden Globe Awards.
Then we take a dive into the world of music to spice up your playlist in J-Jams with Jullys Souza. Then Myra Grossman informs us about the COVID vaccine rollout. And to close out the show, we have Andrew Reynolds to update us on the Boston Red Sox, Celtics, and Bruins seasons in Sports Desk.
All that and more coming up next on Flyer News Remote.
Good morning, Flyers. Welcome back to Flyer News. Today is Monday, March 8th, a day 7 with periods running A, B, C, D. I'm Jay Atal.
And I'm Zachary Clayton. The Nobscot Chapel has recently finished its move and now rests on its new foundation. The Nobscot Chapel move was a process that occurred over the course of a few months and took a copious amount of work. The Nobscot Chapel is a historic building dating back to the 1800s. And thanks to Stan's Granite State building movers, the chapel was able to be preserved. It was moved hundreds of feet to make room for new developments in the Nobscot Plaza. With more on the story, we have Jay Atal on his story about the chapel move.
Lots of people say the phrase, the only constant is change. This can be seen in Framingham, as we've gone from a town to a city, and now in this historic chapel move. In the past, we've seen the construction of a library where there used to be a house for sale on Water Street. I used to go on walks around Framingham and see that house for sale every time. We can see the house in 2014 and now with the library. Similarly, now we see construction where the chapel used to be, and we can see the chapel has moved. And you look at the picture on the left, you can see the chapel right behind me. History is happening now, and on that note, let's take a look at this historic journey of the chapel moving in Framingham.
This chapel behind me is one of the oldest buildings in Framingham. It was built in the year 1885 and is currently at the intersection of Edgels and Water. The chapel is being moved down there, and you may be wondering why it's being moved, and this is because more apartments are being added to Framingham. The planning for this has been going on for quite a while, and as you see, we approach where Star Market used to be, and that has been brought down and demolished, and apartments will be added there, and soon CVS will follow. The CVS will be moved to currently where the chapel is, and we're approaching the chapel move spot where there's a hole currently dug out next to Gianni's Pizza, and it's very deep, and it's being moved soon, so let's check it out. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020, and the chapel move has started. You can see where the foundation used to be.
And this move was no easy task. The chapel with its boarded up windows and the removed door was put up on beams in order for it to be moved. Let's take a look at the progress. Now let's get into the process of the move. With the chapel on beams, it could be pulled by chains and motors. As you see here, the chapel is slowly moving with the chains pulling it, and it's able to slide on the beams.
Today is May 14th, 2020, and right now the preparations for the phase 2 move is coming to an end, and now we're going to see it move, so let's check that out. So before the chapel goes into its final move, let's take a look at where it's been so far. So behind us is where the chapel used to be, right over there. And then as time kept on going on, went down the railings. And then it's all closer to the move spot. It's been 3 parts today, and it's going to be the 4th part of the move today itself, and looking forward to it, and we'll see you then.
With this chapel move done, let's take a look at the progression. About 150 years since the chapel was initially built, 3 to 4 months of a move, the chapel meets its final resting spot. There's more history for this chapel to create in the future. That's all, folks. My name is Atal, and this has been a Framingham High Studios production.
As we move into spring temperatures, it seems to be getting warmer.
That's right, and hopefully we can ditch our winter coats soon.
True. And we can also do more outdoor activities soon.
With this week's forecast, we have our weather boy, Joey Macdonald.
Welcome back to weather. My name is Joey Macdonald. Let's take a look at this week's forecast. So Monday, looking up at a high 39, a low of 27. It's going to be a very sunny day. Tuesday, drastic increase, high of 54, low of 28. It's going to be a partially cloudy day. Wednesday, looking about a high 55, low of 39. It's going to be a very sunny day. Thursday, high of 64, low of 50. It's going to be a partially cloudy day. Friday, looking about a high 63, low of 37. It's going to be an overcast and cloudy day. Saturday, looking about a high 45, low of 28, partially cloudy. And Sunday, looking about a high 37, low of 25. It's going to be partially cloudy yet again. So this week we're going to be getting some very warm days compared to what we've been getting before. You may even see some shorts being broken out for the later parts of the week. That's it for me. Let's take it back to the desk.
Framingham schools officially had a return for students with the hybrid plan. Last week, those who opted to return from the B cohort went back to school. The school experience is different than before, as students had to wear masks all day and interact with students at home through Zoom. For an update in the return to school, tune in to Flyer News next week for a full recap.
The picture Nomadland and the actor Chadwick Boseman won Golden Globe this year.
With more on the story, we have Griffin Yarmaloff to give us the recap of the events.
He will also provide some predictions for which movies may win the Oscars this year.
Last Sunday, the 78th Golden Globes celebrated this past year's best TV shows and movies. I'll be recapping all the action that took place Sunday night, including some of my predictions for who will take home the big prize at the Academy Awards. I'll start off with a little housekeeping and give you all the smaller winners of the night. Actor in a supporting role in a limited series goes to John Boyega for Small Axe. Actor in a limited series goes to the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo for I Know This Much Is True. Best actor in television series is Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, who was thrilled. Best actress in a motion picture, musical or comedy is Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. Actor in supporting role goes to Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. Best actress in a supporting role goes to Jodie Foster for The Mauritania. The best song goes to La Sea from The Life Ahead. The best original score goes to Soul. And the best animated picture also goes to Soul. Now it's time to get to the juice of the night. First, let's start with TV shows. There were only 3 major winners for the TV category, so let's go over them. Number 1, Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek won Best Television Series for Comedy and Best Actress in Television Series, which went to Catherine O'Hara. Number 2, we have Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit won Best Television Limited Series and the Best Actress in a Limited Series for Anna Taylor-Joy. But the biggest television winner of the night was The Crown. They would walk away with an astonishing 4 Golden Globes. Best Actress in a Supporting Role, which went to Gillian Anderson. Best Actress in a Television Series, which went to Emma Corrin. Best Actor in Television Series, which went to Josh O'Connor. And Best Television Series Drama. Alright, now it's movie time. Best Foreign Language Film is Minari. Now I'm going to keep a really close eye on this one because I feel like it's going to have some big Oscar upsets. Best Motion Picture for Comedy or Musical goes to Borat's subsequent movie, Let's Go! Behold the applause, because Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy goes to, you guessed it, Sacha Baron Cohen, The GOAT strikes again. The Best Screenplay went to The Trial of the Chicago 7. The Best Actress in a Motion Picture goes to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. The Best Actor in a Motion Picture, and may he rest in peace, is Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Best Director went to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. And the Best Motion Picture Award went to Nomadland. Congratulations on the biggest prize. Hope the Oscar curse doesn't keep up with you this time. Also, if we throw it back a couple weeks ago when I did my Oscar video, at number 3 is Nomadland. I did predict Nomadland would be number 3. So, I mean, am I a genius? A little bit. Am I awesome? Definitely. My major takeaways from this Golden Globe is the same as most years. Fairly bland. It kind of sets up the grand prize of the Oscar we'll see in a few months. But my major takeaway from this year's Golden Globes is that the real winner are the streaming services. I mean, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, all of them absolutely dominating. We've never seen this many Best Picture films from these production companies before. It is insane how these huge streaming services are now taking over the film industry since we all had to stay at home because of our problem. One thing that really disappointed me about this Golden Globes was, where was Mank? Mank had 6 Golden Globe nominations, the most out of anyone of the night. What happened to the Mank? If I had to make a prediction for the Oscar season, I would probably say that Mank would make a tad comeback, but I think Nomadland would probably take it all. Except Best Picture, which is going to the boys at Trial of the Chicago 7. Boom, quote me on it, you have my word. I will bet you it is the Trial of the Chicago 7 wins Best Picture at this year's Oscars. You can quote this video, you can quote me, you can follow me at Guapo Griff, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Hey Zach, do you ever find yourself looking for new music to listen to?
Yes, I do. I'm always looking for new songs to jam out while I do my work.
Well, you're in luck because we have Jullys Souza to keep you updated on the newest releases from Nick Jonas and more.
What's going on, Framingham? My name is Julius, and this is J Jams. First up on this week's episode, we have a brand new song by Baby Rexha called Sacrifice, so let's check it out.
Sacrifice.
That song was called Sacrifice by Baby Rexha. I already knew that it was going to be a good song as soon as I pressed play because I listened to it and I was like, okay, it's going to be a banger. And I was right. The more you listen to it, the more it builds up, and as soon as it gets to about like the 1 minute mark, you get a really, really satisfying beat drop, and I just really enjoy that in a lot of music, so that's why I'm recommending it to you guys. Up next, we have some quote-unquote new music by Juice WRLD. It features Post Malone and Clever, so let's check it out.
You down, I really hope it was no lying, cause when heart breaks it feel like the world's gone. But if the love's real, you feel your soul roar like a lion, and you finally let bygones be bygones. Don't throw in the towel, I know it feels like you're the only one trying. You just gotta learn to live and love on. I belong with the one put on this earth for me. Everybody has their someone, just gotta look and see.
You may be wondering why that song is called Life's a Mess Part 2, and that's because Life's a Mess Part 1 technically was on Legends Never Die, which is Juice's album that he released, or his label released in July of 2020 or August of 2020. But I'm not really a big fan of this version. I'd much rather listen to the one with Halsey, which was on the original. But Clever, his verse was not good. Posty's was like okay, I guess. And Juice's was pretty much the same minus one other verse that was in Halsey's. But yeah, I'm not really going to recommend this to you guys. I'm just going to let you know that it's out there. So, alright, and up next we have a brand new single by Nick Jonas. It's called This Is Heaven, so let's take a listen.
This is heaven. I don't know how this could get much better than you and me here right now. This is heaven.
And that song was called This Is Heaven by Nick Jonas. I really enjoyed listening to it. I found the lyrics were good, the production was good, and the mixing was very well made. So I just found it was an overall great song to recommend to you guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to that, and I hope you listen to it on your own. But unfortunately, that's all the time that I have for this episode of J Jams. All the songs will be linked below in the description. So this is J Jam signing out. Let's send it back to our anchors.
In a press release last week, the city of Framingham announced that they will reopen City Hall today. Face coverings will be required, social distancing will also be required, as well as many other COVID-19 safety requirements in order to allow the City Hall to remain open. Hours for city staff will also be shortened to allow for extra cleaning time. Residents will be allowed to queue, but are required to stand on socially distanced markers. All doors, but the outside on top of the stairs will be unlocked.
As we hope for the end of the coronavirus pandemic, vaccine availability has been expanding, allowing for more people to get their COVID vaccine.
Coming very soon, teachers and educators will be qualified to receive their COVID vaccine.
The Biden administration also made some announcements regarding adults receiving the COVID vaccine.
With more on the story, we have Myra Grossman.
This past Wednesday, many Phase 5 students returned to school physically for the first time per Framingham's hybrid model. Framingham's return to school has caused much discussion about teachers and educators receiving the vaccine soon. Yesterday, President Joe Biden called for teachers and school staff to receive at least their first dose of the vaccine in March. Senate President Karen Spilka called for teachers to be vaccinated in March as well. Governor Charlie Baker spoke on Wednesday as well and said that teachers will be eligible to receive the vaccine starting March 11th. Governor Baker said, "We think teachers should absolutely be a part of the game starting next week. This group includes about 400,000 people," Baker said. Some mass vaccination sites are expected to set aside particular days to vaccinate educators, but he said that all of that is still being figured out. "We're making this announcement to be consistent with the Biden-Harris directive," Baker said. "We don't want people to be confused, but we obviously need a lot more doses a lot sooner than the current guidelines that have been applied to us by the feds if we're truly going to make it through this group as quickly as possible." Both Pfizer and Moderna are expected to increase their production in March, and the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, approved last week, is making its way to clinics in Massachusetts and across the country. CVS recently added teachers and staff to its COVID vaccine eligibility list for Massachusetts on Wednesday morning, before Governor Baker's announcement. Reporting for Flyer News, this is Myra Grossman.
Seattle Seahawks quarterback, one-time Super Bowl champion, 8-time Pro Bowl player Russell Wilson is rumored to be traded. In a tweet from Adam Schefter, Wilson would want to go to either the Cowboys, Saints, Raiders, or Bears. The Seattle Seahawks are currently taking calls for trades. The 2021 offseason has been crazy for drama as quarterback John Watson from the Texans is expected to be traded, and the futures of Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees are unknown. In New England, we are left to wonder if Cam Newton will return to the Patriots next season, or if the Patriots will seek a free agent quarterback, draft one, or give Jarrett Stidham a chance. The Patriots currently have the 15th overall pick in the draft, and according to overthecap.com, they currently have over $66 million in cap space, being the third overall in cap space in the NFL. So they have lots of money to spend and may try to use some of that money on the receiving corps. Last season, the Patriots had the highest number of opt-outs due to COVID, with 8 missing players, such as linebacker Dante Hightower, safety Patrick Chung, running back Brandon Bolden, and tackle Marcus Cannon, who are expected to return this season. Moving over to the rest of the Boston sports world, let's head over to Andrew Reynolds with Sports Desk, where he'll go over the last 3 games of the Boston Celtics and Bruins in the Red Sox training camp season, as well as breaking Red Sox news.
Stronger, stronger, everlasting, how you're fast and never caution. But you didn't think that I'd come back to life.
Wilson, quick throw, and it's good. Intercepted! Intercepted around the ball!
But you didn't think that I'd come back to life.
Raymond Lewis on the top of the crease. Bertrand score! Bergeron!
But you didn't think that I'd come back to life.
Good morning and welcome back to Sports Desk. I'm your host, Andrew Reynolds. Let's start off with the Red Sox. In unfortunate news, Jackie Bradley Jr. has left the Sox to join the Milwaukee Brewers after he signed a 2-year, $24 million contract. The Sox also started their spring training season last week. They are 2-1 in their last 3 games. On Wednesday, they beat the Twins 14-6. Then on Thursday, they lost to the Orioles 6-3. And finally, on Friday, they beat the Rays 6-5. Opening day for the Sox is on April 1st at home against the Baltimore Orioles. Since Governor Baker is reeling back on restrictions, Fenway will be able to hold around 4,500 fans by opening day. Now on to the Bees. The Bruins are 2-1 as well in their last 3 games. Last Sunday, they beat the New York Rangers with a final score of 4-1. Then on Wednesday, they lost to the Capitals with a final of 2-1, which ended it in a shootout. And finally, on Friday night, they played the Caps again and took that one with a final of 5-1. On Friday night, Bruins defenseman Brandon Carlo took a dangerous hit to the boards while in a defenseless position by right winger Tom Wilson. Carlo was taken to the hospital and is week to week on his recovery. The NHL gave Wilson a 7-game suspension for the hit. The NBA All-Star game was yesterday between Team LeBron and Team Durant. Going into the game, the Celtics were on a roll. They have won 3 of their last 3 games. On Sunday, the Celtics beat the Wizards 111-110. Then on Thursday, the Celtics beat the Clippers 117-112. And finally, on Thursday, the Celtics beat the Raptors 132-125. That's all for Sports Desk this week. Reporting for Flyer News, I'm Andrew Reynolds, and that's a wrap.
Thank you for watching this episode of Flyer News Remote.
If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Framingham High Studios to keep up with all the coolest behind-the-scenes photos, sneak peeks, and the weekly video lineups in advance.
And be sure to check back for new episodes of Flyer News Remote every Monday at 8 a.m.
For Flyer News Remote, I'm Atal.
And I'm Zachary Clayton. Have a great Monday.